Hi, and welcome to Origin of Concepts. In this video, I'll continue the 12 labors of Heracles in Greek mythology. And today we reach the number 8, stealing the mares of Diomedes. And Heracles' 8th labor was to steal the mares of Diomedes. Yeah. And the mares is, of course, the horses. If you look up at the picture here, he's going to steal. The mares' madness was attributed to their unnatural diet, which consisted of the flesh of unsuspecting guests or strangers to the island. And let's take a look at the guests here in the Milky Way. Because this is the island in the heaven, and the striped shadow here is all the guests that the horses are fed of. In some versions, the myths say that the mares or the horses also expel fire when they breathe, and of course they do, because when we take the big mouth here, or the inside of the mouth of the horse here, the big mouth of the Milky Way, they also expel fire. Let me use another color. You got the disk, which is the fire in the Milky Way center, and then you got the striped shadow here, which is the fire expelled from the mouth, because the golden disk light is running down through the striped shadow. So here you got the horse expelling the fire. All right. The mares were kept tethered by iron chains to a bronze manger in the city of Tirida. Let's take a look at that. The root meaning of Tirida is crown. You know, the etymology don't really know what it means, but then you can find its root, which basically means the crown. So the area we are working with now is the Tirida is the crown, and the crown is, of course, the striped shadow here. So so far so good. And this is always the crown in the sky, by the way. So every time you read or hear or watch a myth and you see the crown, this is it. All of them. And then we got some iron chains, because the horses is fastened with the iron chains, and the iron chains is, of course, also the striped shadow here. That's the chain. And the chains is fastened to the bronze manger, which is the, let me find the real color here. I'll take the green one. You see inside the disc, this is the bronze color, and inside here we got this X, and that's the manger where they are tied to. And if I quickly draw the horse here, because it's the same as everybody else, it has more round ears. I think the horse is more like this. Something like this. You see, then it starts to make sense. The horse is here. And it's changed to the bronze mangler or manger. So here you got everything and the eye here, as always. Okay, we move on because the sacred horses fled onto the high ground of a knoll, like a bumpy hill. Heracles quickly dug a trench through the peninsula, filling it with water, and thus flooding the low-lying plain. So to get the horses out, he dug this peninsula and filled it with water. So let's take a look at that. The striped shadow is, of course, the knolled hill. I don't even know if you can say that, the knolled hill, but the bumping hill. Let's call it the bumping hill. Yeah. And the trench, his diggings, of course, also the striped shadow, because that's the trench here on the hillsides, between the hillsides here. And the water is running from the lake and into his trench. Let me draw the water here. Here we got the water, and it runs down through the trench here. So that's the end of that chat. It's almost a similar story to Heracles when he's smashing the mountains. It's exactly the same. It's a copycat. They reused the same story. Now it's just the opposite way. It's away from the center. Okay. The next text writes, Heracles brought a number of volunteers to help him capture the giant horses. And you maybe already guess it, but the people here is the volunteers. And the giant horses, I think I forgot to mention this in the start because I only draw the great one of them. But the 4 horses is basically, they are standing here, This is the horses here. And there are 4 of them. And here's the last one. So this is the 4 horses. I mean, it's 4 horses. Yes, it is. And these 4 horses is also used in the biblical mythology as the 4 horsemen, and the horses of the 4 horsemen. So, but that's for another video. And then the last text says, Heracles broke the chains that tethered the horses and drove the mares down to the sea. And just for the sake of the good, here is the sea in the bottom of the mountain area. And Heracles take all the horses here and he drove them down to the sea. And that's the end of that myth. So now you know how to steal the mares of Diomedes, the 8th labor of Heracles. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. I did. And thank you for watching. It's so much appreciated. And until next video, take care. Bye.